What's going on, everyone? It's Logan Cheek here with another episode of Living in Lex. Most people moving here, if it not for a personal reason like a new job or family related matter, it'd be for the cost of living here. The cost of living here overall is lower than the national average. So if you're moving here, it's likely because you want that lower overall cost. And on today's episode, we're going to be talking about everything from groceries, most importantly, the cost of housing in the area. Today's video is going to be based around numbers in December of 2021 and going into the 2022 year. If you haven't done so already, be sure you press that subscribe button and the little notification bell at the bottom of this video. You don't want to miss out on all this content. I'm going to be pumping out so much information on Lexington. You do not want to miss anything. Also, I have people reaching out to me every day asking about all things Lexington. So if you're thinking about moving to Lexington, be sure to call, text, email me. I'll put my information out on the screen. I'd love to help you and get you situated. Even if you're a year away from buying, reach out now and we'll go ahead and start talking about your goals and get you situated. So without further ado, let's jump into the video. As we jump into today's video, we're going to be talking about all things from gas to utilities to groceries, as well as the cost of housing, including rent and the cost of a home here in the Lexington and Lexington area. When I refer to the Lexington area, I'm really talking about Lexington as well as a lot of the surrounding cities touching it, such as Nicholasville, Georgetown, Richmond, and any of those ones touching Lexington. With all that being said, let's jump into number one. What does gas cost here in Lexington, Kentucky? Gas going into the 2022 year is costing around $3 a gallon, actually just a little bit under that. A lot of the premium gasolines are sitting at around $3.30, and if you're looking for a diesel, it's probably going to cost you somewhere in the ballpark of about $3.15 currently. Further you go inside Lexington towards the downtown area, odds are gasoline is going to be a little bit more expensive. It's harder to find gas stations in that area, and there's more people populating that area. Therefore, people are willing to pay those higher prices. The further you go outside of Lexington to those other surrounding areas that we talked about before, gas prices are going to go down below that $3 mark like we talked about. Gas prices have kind of shot up over the last several months, as they have in many areas, and while gas prices here in Lexington are probably a little bit cheaper than some of the bigger markets throughout the country, we still hope that those gas prices continue to go down and will stay a little bit lower towards that 2 mark that we all love so much. Next up on the list, let's talk about the cost of groceries here in Lexington. Yes, I know what you're saying. The cost of groceries is incredibly hard to predict because you don't know how many people you're buying for and you don't know the kind of food that you're buying. According to bestplaces.net, the cost of groceries here in Lexington is about 2% lower than the national average, while the cost of groceries in Kentucky as a whole is about 6% lower. The big takeaway you need to take from this grocery section of the video is that the cost of groceries here in Lexington, as well as many other things, is below the national average. Now let's talk about the cost of health insurance in the Lexington area. Now I know health insurance can be a little bit of a touchy subject depending on where you're from, but I think it's important to talk about in terms of the cost of living in Lexington as well as the quality of this video. Health insurance can be another one of those things that's a little bit tricky to predict, but I can tell you based on my personal experience and my experience with talking with other people, you could bet on paying at least and around $200 a month per person on the policy. Now, the exact amount can vary depending on the age of the person pulling out the policy, as well as what kind of health conditions you have. But if you bet on at least $200 per person, that's probably a good place to start. Now let's get into one of the parts of this video that you all have been probably holding out for a little bit more than the other ones we've previously talked about, and that's the cost of utilities in the area. For this section of the video, I'm going to be basing a lot of my utility numbers off of a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home in Lexington. This seems to be the home type that many of my clients, or majority of my clients, are looking for in the area, so that's what my numbers are going to be based on. To start off, let's talk about water here in Lexington. And there's something strange that you should know about water here in Lexington. American Water is actually linked to the local trash services here. So when you pay your water bill, you're actually paying your trash bill along with it. You can expect your water bill to range anywhere from $25 to $30. That's just a rough ballpark number. Again, this is dependent on how much water you use per month, but $25 to $30 is a good safe number. Next, let's talk about water waste, since this directly connects to your water bill. For those of you that don't know, your water waste bill is dependent on how much water you use. And since your water bill is connected to your trash service, a lot of times this water waste bill is going to be just below that water bill. So you can bet on at least $25 to $30 a month, again, dependent on how much water you use. For cable and internet, personally, I no longer use cable. I've streamed everything for years now, and of course, I use the internet pretty frequently now. But for your internet and cable bill, you can bet on an average cost of around $50 to $100 a month. And this is, of course, dependent on what kind of speed you have, but $50 to $100 a month should cover most of the lower end, a little bit speeds, as well as some basic cable options as well. Your biggest cost, like it's going to be in a lot of places, is of course going to be your electricity bill. Now, your electricity bill is dependent on the time of year it is and the systems that are in the home. So for the summer months, of course, your bill is going to be a little bit cheaper, while in the winter months, when those heat systems are really working here in Kentucky, those bills are going to be a little bit more expensive. Now, in the summer months, I have seen these bills get as low as around $100 a month, sometimes even less. But in the winter months, this is when your heat systems is really going to be working. This is when you're going to get your really expensive bills. These can get up as well as much as $200 a month, sometimes more, sometimes less. But it really depends on the systems in your home. Now, we do have gas heating here in Kentucky, as well as gas water heaters. So if you do have one of these systems, you are going to save some on that electricity bills when they are traditionally a little bit higher. Of course, you will have a gas bill at that point, and your gas bill is going to go up in those months. But generally speaking, gas bills are a little bit cheaper than those electricity bills with the electric systems. Now, it's time to get to the part of the video that most of you, I'm sure, have been waiting for, and that's the cost of living here in Lexington, in the Lexington area, and more specifically, in the form of rent first. I'm sure if you're watching this, you already know that over the past year, we've seen record high appreciation throughout the entire United States, and that doesn't leave out the rental market. Here in Lexington, the rental market has been booming. Here, even in December, there's still a ton of people still looking for rentals and have been for quite some time now. Traditionally, the rental market does slow down this time of year, so it is a bit odd that this many people are still looking for rentals, but I think it does say that the rental market is still got some room to go up. Usually the rental market does follow sometime after the real estate market has gone up, and the real estate market has been going up for quite some time and may continue to go up. And the rental market has really just begun to go up over the past several months, so it could continue to be on the rise. On average, though, and this is just kind of an estimate of what rent values are kind of at right now, they have gone up some, but I'd say you can bet on per bedroom around $500 a bedroom. Now, depending on what area of Lexington you're in, this can be a little bit more than $500 a bedroom. And I would say once you go past the 3-bedroom mark, it isn't quite $500 a bedroom at that point, but it's a good general estimate for you all. Some of the higher rent that I've seen in Lexington is in the Hamburg area, 40502, the zip code, which is kind of an older, more established area in Lexington. I've seen 4 bedrooms over there go for around $2,500 a month. That is on the high end, but that's probably the highest you'll see. Sometimes you can get a little bit over that if it's a lot more luxury, but $2,500 is kind of the top end luxury. And then $500 a month is probably kind of your 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment is probably going to sit around $1,000. A 3-bedroom, 2-bath might sit around $1,500, somewhere in that general vicinity. I do have clients that move in from out of state. Sometimes people don't want to buy immediately. It's really all about what kind of goals you have. So some do like to rent before they end up buying to kind of get a feel for the area. I generally don't deal in rentals, but if you're moving to the area and just need a rental, feel free to text or call me as well. I'm more than willing to help, but again, it's not usually an area I deal in. Now it's time to talk about the cost of living in the form of buying a home. This is another one of those things in Lexington that's pretty area dependent. There's plenty of homes well over $1 million in Lexington, and you can get some on the lower end as well. Many of my clients generally within the city of Lexington don't go below $150,000 though. If you're buying a home below $150,000 in Lexington, usually it's a condo or a townhome, or it's one of those areas that many of my clients try to avoid some. Median home price of a home in Lexington, Kentucky, according to LBAR, which is the local MLS that I work with, is around the $230,000 mark. That is including Lexington and the surrounding areas. So in Lexington, it is going to be a little bit higher than that. But when you go outside of Lexington, generally speaking, homes outside of Lexington are a little bit less. I've talked a little bit about this on a former video, but there's currently a new construction ban within New Circle Road, the big circular road surrounding Lexington. So you can't build any new homes within it. You can tear down an existing home, you can remodel a home, can't build one. So the homes within New Circle Road, generally speaking, can be a little bit more expensive depending on the area. Now, there are some cheaper areas within New Circle Road, but there are some nice areas within 40502. Those homes are going to appreciate like wildfire in the years to come and already have been in years past. If you go outside of New Circle Road, we do see some new construction homes and some lower prices. Hamburg has some new construction going on. And if you really want lower prices than that kind of $230-ish median home price that we're seeing in Lexington, then you really probably need to go outside of Lexington into the Lexington area, as I call it. Places like Georgetown, Nicholasville, Richmond, Versailles, Winchester, Wilmore. I could keep going. There's a whole bunch of places that have much lower home prices than there are in Lexington, while still being within 30 minutes of the city. All of these numbers in this video are based at the end of 2021 going into the 2022 year. I do anticipate that home prices will at least stay stable, if not go up some. I've got a lot of clients that have been holding out to buy until this year, so I do anticipate a little bit of a rise. I don't anticipate the double-digit appreciation that we saw this past year, though, especially in a stable market like Lexington. I will say, though, I'm not an economist, nor can I predict markets, but I work in the real estate field every day, and I'm just kind of going off of based some of the things that I'm reading online, as well as some of the things that I'm seeing within my own clients too. Building costs are still high, making new construction difficult. New construction in Lexington is difficult all by itself. Demand is still high, inventory is still low. These are all just some of the reasons why I think the market will at least continue to go up, if not stay stable going into this year. With all that being said, if you're not in the market right now and you plan to get into the market of Lexington and buy a home here soon, I would really encourage you to do this as soon as possible. If the market continues to appreciate like we did last year and the demand skyrockets, and if inventory doesn't go up like we need it to, it really could be a big fight like it was last year to get a home. So I would really encourage you to start looking now. I do understand that buying isn't for everyone though, so if you do need to relocate here and rent for a little bit, it could give you an opportunity to learn more about the Lexington area, as well as spend some time to save up and get your financials ready so that you can buy that forever home. I've rambled on for long enough, so if you like this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up, and be sure you press subscribe and press that little notification bell at the bottom. I post things all working, living, playing in Lexington, Kentucky, and I want you to know about it every time I post a new video. Also, if you're thinking about relocating to the Lexington area, I have people that reach out to me on a daily basis asking questions about Lexington and all the things it has to offer. Feel free to text, call, email me at any time. I love it when people reach out to ask about the city I love. And if you're thinking about buying a home here, I'm more than happy to help you with all your home buying needs. With all that being said, thank you for watching this video, and I'll catch you next time on Living in Lex.